Hello and welcome to Eat the Damn Cake. I am Carly.
And I am Maddie.
And we're back at it again this week.
We are just thriving. It's deeply ingrained in our brand or in our branding. It's called self-care, babies. Baby cakes. Do you hear that? Oh my God, you might give people the wrong idea. If you hear that, that is a
this is a ball shaver.
Yes.
Have you guys ever heard of it? Manscaped. Check it out.
Check it out. I don't know if you're watching YouTube, you can see it. So I don't know if we walked in today and we were like, so there's just like many uses for this. So it is for the male specimen. It is to help people find their balls.
Find your balls. Find them.
But
and it's not just for males.
It's not, because we tested it out.
On my arm hair.
Carly's arm hair. She's got some longer arm hair happening. And I tend to not shave my legs as often in the wintertime. So I give it a little like busted a move on my leg hair. I will say it is the
smoothest shave.
Smoothest.
Like no nicks.
Like dry shave that shit. Like, I don't know about you, like if you're wearing like capris or like jeans with a hole in it. I don't know if you've ever done that. Like just shave the place where the hole is. This thing is for you. Or if you have a significant other that you're like, they could probably benefit from this. And this amazing thing we have here, it has ball toner, ball deodorant
for those stanky ass balls after a workout.
And then you got some boxers, it comes with a charger, and then this amazing like
it doesn't
buzzer.
nick
it's
anything.
a razor.
Like imagine nicking your balls while shaving them. That would be so painful. So this thing is literally, it's the
amazing.
Next best thing to happen. So use our code for 20% off this kit or whatever you want to use.
Whatever product that tickles your little fancy or your significant other's fancy if they are needing it.
And free shipping.
Yes. And code is Find Your Balls. FINDYOURBALLS. Find your balls.
Not a Z.
Not a Z, as some would think.
And just so find your balls. Go test it out. Go try it out. Get some for your man for any anniversary, birthday.
I will be gifting it for sure.
I will be gifting it too. I straight up actually asked my boyfriend the other night if he was going to use it in front of my parents.
And our parents were like, so like this could just.
And then I was like, for your face. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
way to make everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah,
in the
everyone's
room,
just like deep breaths, gotta go. And Joe's probably like sitting there like broken out into hives. Yeah. Like literally doesn't even give Carly a hug when he walks in the door. Like literally seething. Like why would she ever say that in front of anybody? But if you ever have any questions about it, let us know. We'll continue to chat about this on our podcast and Instagram and everything. But don't forget 20% off, Find Your Balls, and free shipping. It's worth a shot. And we just want to welcome you, especially if this is your first time listening. I'll just tell you a real quick blurb about us. We are just trying to shatter norms in the fitness industry and make it a more inclusive and accepting environment for you all. So hopefully that tickles your fancy a little bit if this is your first time listening.
Yeah,
welcome.
So excited to have you.
Yeah, welcome to our little space. Thank you for letting us in your eardrums.
So for those of you, we have an exciting announcement. For those of you who have subscribed, reviewed, and rated us 5 stars.
We have something coming your way.
Yes. Send us a screenshot of you doing that.
And something might come.
And we will DM you with a discount code.
Oh my God.
For our merch.
And you know this beautiful merch that we have? It is Ho for Carbs.
Ho for Carbs.
We are hoes for carbs.
So, and if you don't know, refer back to our Instagram, please. I recently posted
circle back
a picture to me double fisting French bread and my Ho for Carbs sweatshirt on. So if you guys do want merch and you want a cute little discount on merch, then send us a
little screenshot
on our Instagram at Eat the Damn Cake Podcast, and of your review, of your rating, and you've subscribed. It has to be a 5-star rating.
Yep.
And
you're disqualified.
You're disqualified if it's 1 star. Goodbye. But if it is, we will send you a discount code, and you can use it at your leisure.
Yeah. So super excited about that.
And if you've already done this, feel free to screenshot what you've already done.
Absolutely. I mean, some of you, I was noticing, I was going through the reviews yesterday, and some people for the name just you know, when you like have to just type something random, they like type all the most random letters. So if you're one of those people, we do ask that you go back and redo one with your real name on it, because there's no way of us actually knowing if that was you, if it's a bunch of random letters.
True.
So no claiming work if it's not yours.
True. Yep. All right. So today I got mauled at the dog park.
We're just going to jump right in.
Yeah, today I got actually mauled at the dog park. And I mean, I was like debating even bringing this on the air today
Carly,
because I was very sensitive.
Carly gets very, I don't know if we know this about her yet.
Mad?
She gets angry.
Okay, no, but this was rightfully so.
Justified.
Okay. Usually I get irrationally angry. Today was justified anger. And what happened was I was taking my sweet angel baby Duke for a walk, and we come up on this path and this dog appears out of nowhere, and he
I just hit my leg so hard on the chair I might vomit. Anyways, go on, sorry.
And then she went down. And then she went down to grab her leg and hit her head on her Yeti.
Yep. So we're fine. I'm fine.
Sorry.
Go on.
Watch the YouTube and you'll know.
Oh, that hurt. I'm gonna bruise for sure. You know that ankle bone on the side just like smashed into the metal chair, and I was not anticipating it to hurt that bad.
So you're making me laugh during my anger moment.
I know, you're angry.
Okay, I'm angry.
Channel your anger.
So I basically, this dog appears out of nowhere, and usually I welcome all love from dogs, and like I absolutely love dogs and will let any dog come up to me, maybe a cute little jump, but nothing like this. This dog comes up and jumps up, knocks me in the nose, then jumps up again with like teeth out, and then jumps up again. And at this point I have a bloody nose. Like I'm bleeding from my nose.
Blood has happened. It's drawn.
Is drawn from the nose. And so I'm like, okay. And this dog will not stop. So my dog kind of notices. I'm like pushing this dog off me at this point. And the owner's like, I couldn't even hear the name. I had a podcast going in my ears. I was flustered. The owner's like,
flustered.
Let's say the name was Cooper. He's like, Cooper, come here. I'm like, that's not freaking working. Come and grab your motherfucking dog. So then Duke is like trying to fight this dog on my behalf. And this dog is like snapping at Duke. And I'm like, no, not Duke. And so the dog comes back to me, knocks me on my ass on the ice. I literally am going to have a giant bruise on my butt. Like it's sort of touch. This park is just ice at this point. I'm hit the ground like a tree trunk. Like I go down hard. And this dog still is jumping on me. And the owner's like, Cooper, come here. Sorry about that. I'm like, I'm bleeding. I'm bruised. I'm crying.
Carly just like walks away and she's like, I hate you with every fiber of my being.
This person is the type of person that gives dogs off leash a bad rep.
Yep.
Because that's what people are expecting when dogs are off leash, if they have an encounter like that. I've never had an encounter like that at the dog park. It was traumatizing. I love dogs. So if someone does not like dogs and had to go through that, I could see them never going back.
If that happened to me, I literally would have sent them my hospital bill, because if I had fallen on the ice, my back would have just been even more severely hurt.
My rib felt like it popped out at that point.
Probably.
I was like,
honestly, you should have walked with him and been like, let me see your car. Get his license plate. Like, literally, take it down.
I didn't want to be near that dog anymore.
I wouldn't want to
Oh my
either.
God. It was like 75 pounds, this dog. It wasn't like a tiny little Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
It was like this dog was mauling me.
That's terrifying.
So that was my morning this morning.
And then I made her a nice breakfast. Yes. And she came home to a delicious little breakfast.
Maddie made me a beautiful bacon, egg, and cheese, and it was chef's kiss.
Delicioso. A little update on my beautiful injury. I went to a spine specialist. Thank you all again for like helping me out. You all DM me so many things, so I love you for that. So I have arthritis, I have a tear in my disc, and I have 2 bulging discs. So that's really cute, fun, and flirty. I will be out of commission for a while, so if you do subscribe to our Built by Byron package, you will be seeing my beautiful boyfriend's face on the screen quite often now.
You will, yes.
He will be demoing for me while I coach. But if anyone has any good surgeons or people that specialize in injections, I'm plugging it here. Please let me know.
Yeah.
But yeah, in other fun news, we have a guest today.
We do have a guest, and we are going to welcome her. If you do not know her, she is part of the Boston fitness community. She is a Soul Cycle instructor. Her name is Miss Maddy Ciccone.
Hello,
welcome.
our queen. We're so excited to have her on.
Y'all are so kind. I'm wearing glasses because I went to the eye doctor today and they dilated my eyes, and I was told that it would only take an hour, and here I am looking like I went to Coachella 6 years ago.
We were gonna say, I was just about to say, wow, you're looking like very fierce right now with this. This is a look, and I love it. The pink hair is
everything.
We're loving it. I actually was like, Carly, did she actually dye her hair pink? Because I really hope this is real. I hope it's not a filter because I'm obsessed with it. Because I one time dyed my hair pink.
Everybody thought it was a filter. Everybody thought it was there. You know that filter where you can like change the hair color? Because I always play with that one, right?
Yeah.
And people were like, you should totally do that. And then I taught outside on a particularly freezing cold day, and I came home and I was like, I'm gonna dye my hair.
Yes. I love that. I love that so much.
It looks so good. I'm a huge fan. Did you do it? Did you go and get it done, or did you do it yourself?
No, my mom's the hairstylist, so
yes.
Like long story short, like I kind of like, I mean, obviously I could have went to a professional, but I just used overtone. I didn't want it to be like super, super crazy. When I first did it was like, literally it looks like Ariel under the sea.
I loved it.
And now it's fading and it's like bomb. But I just used overtone. I got so many ads for it. I was like, screw it, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, why not?
I have a friend that did it and she had brunette hair, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it's gonna work. And it actually works so well, and it doesn't like dry out your hair. Us blondes definitely don't need more bleach and shit in our hair.
No, we don't need that.
No. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
We are so excited.
So excited to have you.
Our listeners are so excited. We had a ton of listener questions. We'll get to those.
So curious.
Yes.
I was like, I can't see. You know, like I was trying to swipe up to see the analytics.
I know.
I know. So we're just going to like throw random questions at you at the end of this, and you're going to be like, I have no preparation. So watch out.
Oh,
we love it.
I roll.
I love that.
Oh, and we both have our Dunkin'. I live for that.
Oh, this is so sad.
So sad. Mine's all watered down. I'm also sad about that.
I got Maddie Dunkin' this morning, and I got her usual order, and they gave me the complete wrong order. They gave me like a tea with like
hot chocolate. It was green tea mixed with hot chocolate. What kind of
psychopath
person?
That's a serial killer. That's a serial killer.
Whoever did that. Sorry, I got your order, but also I'm kind of glad you got one less day of drinking that shit. It tasted so bad. I was like, Carly, what did you get me? Are you trying to poison me?
Yeah, that was bad. All right.
Well, if you don't know anything about Maddie, she goes also by Maddz Taddz on her Instagram. I feel like that's a lot of people know her as that.
Yes.
She is an amazing master soul cycle instructor, and she's in the Boston area. And how long have you been in Boston for now?
So this September, it will be 5 years.
Oh my God.
I remember when you moved here 5 years ago.
I know.
And you were like the new instructor on the block. I remember that.
I know. And it's so crazy because it's weird, right? Because it feels like time flies, but then also it's like, no, you've like actually been here for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I go back and forth between the two extremes, I guess.
I know. It's so awesome. And you know, if you've never taken her class, she is just an absolute bundle of energy and joy and excitement. And you should definitely go give her a follow because she's extremely motivational. And we will definitely get into all of her endeavors and incredible things that she's gone up to in Boston. But
let's start with the important questions.
Yes.
What is your sign?
Oh, I'm a Virgo.
Amazing.
Virgo. Love that.
Love that about
energy.
You.
Enneagram 8.
Cool. Love language?
What?
What's your love language?
Giving, I think like giving gifts, and also I guess touch is a big one too.
Yes.
I know that's not like one of the languages, but I guess I love giving gifts, like giving shit away. I used to have I kept my own apartment for so long, and I just called it the gifting suite.
Oh, I love
would
that.
Just have people come over and I would give away all the crap that gets sent to me, or
oh my
the
gosh,
sweatshirts or whatever. It was literally like a gifting.
I love that
nice.
so much.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like that's kind of along, maybe, I don't know if it is gift giving is the thing, but it's acts of service. I guess I feel like that goes along their lines. You like being good to other people.
So
acts of service.
Oh gosh. So do you live with your boyfriend currently?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Well, that was one of the listener questions if you were single. So I just had to clarify
clear that up.
I literally, Scott is he's just not obsessed. I joke with him all the time. I'm like, you are the missing piece to why I'm not viral.
He is 100%.
Yeah, it's the one part of my head, but he's actually hilarious. And I get him sometimes. He has his own hashtag Scott on the gram. And
I love that.
Follow along, it's like it's like seeing, like a dog walk on its hind legs and Mean Girls. It's like a rare occasion. But yes. So we've been together for 4 years about. So
oh my gosh.
I know. I feel like so many people.
My boyfriend doesn't have an Instagram.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have one. And people are like, do you have a boy? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's just like, he doesn't like social media. And I think that's what I love about him.
Carly's like, literally stay off.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's so funny. I think like as you get older, that type that you've had when you were younger is no longer the person you usually end up with.
Nope.
Because usually they're the exact opposite. Scott's like super analytical, business, very tech, very finance. Like I always joke when we go somewhere, I'm like, what's blah, 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 plus this, 190, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
That's
funny.
so awesome. Well, for the person that asked if she is single, she is off the market with what seems to be a really great guy. So
one of our producers.
Yeah, we won't call him out, but we're calling him out. Sorry.
Yes.
So the actual big question, how did you get into fitness? Like what brought you out to Boston? Where did you kind of find that love and passion for it?
So that's like a two-part question, but totally related. I was an athlete my whole life. I cheered in college. After college, I was still heavily involved with going to the gym and gym culture and boutique fitness in LA. And it was very up and coming. This is like when it was like the big boom of all the places and all the things. And of course you're in Los Angeles. It's literally the mecca for working out and being outside and wearing your sports bra and running around and getting like the best acai bowl.
I love that culture.
That's the best.
I wish I lived there.
Yeah, like same sometimes, especially like now.
Right now, this weather can't.
Yeah, like right now, currently, or more like yesterday. But
yes,
yeah.
So I was just, the way it happened for me to get into fitness was I would go to the gym before my job, my like marketing, advertising, Hollywood, job. I would get up super, super early. I remember like getting up and being at the gym. Like I was one of the psychos that was knocking at like, 5 or whatever ungodly hour.
You're like, open up. Thanks.
Yeah. And then I would work all day, sometimes like a crazy like 10, 12, 14 hour day. And then if I could make it, I would go for like a double session at night and like dance or whatever. I belong to Equinox in West Hollywood, which is like in itself, like club life. Like it was
that.
Did you ever do those dance classes that everyone goes, oh my God.
Oh, so fun.
So, we used to have like a dance troupe. There used to be this thing called, oh my God, I'm blanking on it. It was called Gym Crew Challenge. All the different gyms in LA had a dance crew and it was like Step Up, but the gym's dance crews. It was the wildest thing you've ever
my God.
Why?
What are we doing here?
Yeah, like, can we bring that to Boston?
Shall we go back to LA? Or
So, my friends kept saying, Maddz, like you should honor it. You love it so much. And after I got laid off from my last like advertising, digital marketing, like I was in this middle management, like you're not quite up, you're not quite an executive assistant. They just kind of like throw you in this like gobbledygook amoeba of mid-level management.
Yeah.
And you always get let go. That's like the first people, they're like, who's expendable?
Yeah.
And I just remember that was the last one. And I was actually like ready to give up on LA. And
really
interesting.
I applied for a position at SoulCycle Boston. I was like, well, that's the dream, right? To work for like an Equinox, a SoulCycle.
Yep.
Like I looked at like the bigger companies and I was like, okay. And they emailed me and they're like, we no longer have a position in Boston available, but we have one again in LA. Do you want to go out for that? And I was like, okay. And then I got the job as assistant studio manager at the West Hollywood studio.
So
and that
insane.
kind of set the journey in motion. But it's so funny because I was talking with Daniel McCleary, who is a senior instructor in LA yesterday on both of our podcasts. And like the dream was never to be a SoulCycle instructor.
It
like
wasn't?
that was never the dream.
That's
The
insane.
dream was to like be a studio manager, get my feet wet in the company, and then like go work for corporate.
Oh my God. And here you are,
like,
master
look at how
instructor.
this like has just blossomed into this amazing thing for you.
Yeah. Like I never joined as a manager with the intent on being an instructor. That was never, it was never even in my wheelhouse of wildest dreams. Like I was like, I'm gonna go work for corporate in New York. I'll be close to my parents in Boston. It'll be great. Everything will be lit.
Oh my God.
And then I ended up opening our West Coast headquarters out in California in Culver City. And I was just like riding for all the people and doing all the things.
Yeah.
And again, eventually that like knock came like, hey, why don't you try to be an instructor? And
Totally.
after you hear something like dozens and dozens and dozens of times, you kind of have to honor the call.
Yeah.
And
I like
and then
that.
That's how that whole journey set off.
So do you think that like your passion for spinning kind of blossomed once you started working there? Were you like, I just absolutely love this culture? And like, was it one of those things?
No, it didn't even really necessarily start at Soul Cycle. I was a huge Cycle House rider. In fact, I was a huge Nichelle and Aaron Hines fan specifically.
Wow.
And so I rode with Nichelle at Crunch Gym.
Oh my
On
God.
the corner of like Sunset and La Cienega, I think. I don't know. That might be like, you might have to fact check on that because I don't even know if the gym exists anymore. And so I would always ride with her at Crunch. I rode with like Renee Wiley at Equinox, Carmine.
Oh my gosh.
Sabatella. Like I was just
all these names
really
you're whipping out.
Yeah, I just got really involved with group fitness. I just love group fitness and the yoga and Jake Ferry and Brent LaFoon. Like I just everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, that was my jam. Those were my hobbies. That was my that was my community, my culture, my people. So it really wasn't like I was like all Soul Cycle necessarily. It was just like I had a passion for it. I actually tried to be an instructor at Cycle House before I ever tried to do Soul Cycle.
And did you get Soul Cycle the first time you auditioned?
I did, yes. And
That's awesome.
That's a question that comes up a lot, but I also think that has a lot to do with the fact of just the amount I was riding.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
You know, I was riding for fun, quote unquote, for fun.
Yeah.
2 to 3 times a day. So it's kind of like my 10X rule or whatever was so much larger than everyone else.
Yeah.
And not because I didn't have to work for it, but like I was riding podium for Angela and David and, you know, Pixie and Laura Crago and Danielle and whoever needed it, you know? So I was very literally a podium pony or very actually, I don't know what the word.
I love that thing.
A podium.
I don't know what the word is. So yeah, because that question's come up before.
Yeah.
I remember when Marvin came to Culver City. I mean, I was head of bikes and sound at the studio. And when I went to put on the thing to audition, he was like, I don't need to tell you what to do, right? And I was like,
oh my God. You're like
no, okay.
Sassy. So I just might shit my pants. It's fine.
It's fine. I'm good. Well, that's just, I feel like that just proves like, you know, everything happens for a reason. So like, everything that led you up to that point kind of worked in your favor and you just were able to like step into this incredible place.
But I have a question. I mean, this might be a little too deep for like the first 10 minutes, but do you ever feel that like once you become an instructor, it becomes a job? It's not a fun hobby anymore. And do you ever miss that feeling of just riding and like just being a rider and like going to enjoy class?
When I get super jaded in the job or angry or upset or whatever, even if I'm super, super like tired and like my body quite literally, like I said this morning, I feel like when my brother used to take my Barbie and snap the legs off.
Yep.
Like I don't even know if Peter did that. That's like really mean of me, but I just have like a
You're like, you did that for sure.
For sure did that.
For sure did that. I try to go take a class because it reminds you of the feeling of being a student, and it puts you back in a different type of energy, and it lets you relax into the experience versus having to have so much control over the bike. now the mic, the headset, the mask, the fucking 900 other things that you have going on.
A million things. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot to be said with like going into a different atmosphere or class, whether it be spin or like a berries class or a class you've never tried before. And like you said, being a student, you learn so much about yourself, but also like, oh my God, this instructor is amazing. I love this style. I love what they're saying. Like, I feel like taking that step back is so important as instructors, especially because it does get like, you enjoy it, but it does get monotonous because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this so often.
Well, I'm sure you get this a lot. So many of your riders coming up and being like, I want to be a spin instructor. And something I say to everyone who says that to me is make sure you're ready for it to become a job and not like a hobby. And also on the day, I want you to sign up for like a ton of classes in 1 week. And on the days when you're tired, when you're sore, when you're whatever, go take that class anyways and see how you feel, because you don't have an option. Like once you're not a rider anymore, you got to teach the class no matter what.
Show up.
Yeah. No, I 1000% agree. And I think, I mirror that 1000%. I don't even know how to even put whatever onto that.
I that's just like also why I was like curious, because you seemed to like love your job as a studio manager opening. So
I've joked about that many times. I was like, I would gladly go back to the West Coast and be a studio manager and work for the 5 a.m. shift to 2 p.m., which is still an 8-hour day, get off and hit the beach at the beach for the rest of the day, and then surf with my friends, hang out on the west side, and maybe grab sushi at Dina Sushi in Malibu after. Yes to all that. And then catch the sunset at Westward Beach in Malibu. Sign me up.
Sure. You're like, but here I am in freezing cold Boston in February teaching a quad with a mask on and not hitting the beach after. Sounds good.
A fucking 10.
Yeah, in a 10.
But I give so much credit to you guys, because one weekend, a couple weekends ago, was 12 degrees out and they were out there teaching, and I was like, oh my, I don't know how you did it.
I mean, I love keeping up with all of you on social media with SoulCycle. It's just like the drive everyone has, and
you guys don't complain either.
No,
you
ever. I've never seen anyone be like, it's cold, I don't want to do this. It's like, it's cold, get your ass to class. You got this.
Definitely. I think we definitely I think a lot of us have like figured out who our like closest confidants are, who we can call in those moments of like, I actually am gonna
lose it.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I took like a little bit of like a social media, like I did the social detox for the Soberary challenge.
I saw that.
Amazing.
I tried myself, which was great. It made me a lot more purposeful. Like, post your picture, make it awesome, create the content, and stop consuming all the other crap in between. Like, just create. But the one thing I noticed, and I don't know if this is a COVID thing, I think it is. I'm not as free with my stories. Like, y'all know I'm the story queen. I love stories and running around and showing my day. I'm just not doing that as much, because I feel like I'm always second guessing, like, oh, am I like I'm always having to worry, like, oh, am I doing the right thing? I gotta put it off, I gotta put it back on. I get like comments like, you're putting your mask on like the incorrect way, and I'm just like, honestly, like I mean, so there are definitely times I've sobbed on the way to the tent.
Absolutely.
But I have to remind myself, like, they're still showing up, so I have to still show up.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line. I just really try, on the hardest days, I try to make it about them and take it as far out and away from me as possible. Which is challenging.
No, I think shifting the perspective too, like, is so big. I feel like there's definitely times when I show up to film, like, because we do our subscription and I really don't want to. And I'm like, okay, I have to actually do this because there are going to be people watching me and they need my energy to feed off of. So if I'm boring and not putting anything into it, they're not going to get anything out of it. So
totally,
it's huge. So I think, there's so much to be said about all of you warriors teaching through the pandemic.
Yeah, like, in the pandemic, in the freezing cold,
outside, it's just,
with a mask on outside also, yeah,
the
it's just
mask is definitely a layer. Like I feel like I am ready to climb Mount Everest with my VO2.
I literally have said that to everyone. I was like, put me in like VO2 training. My breathing is phenomenal right now. I could do anything. I could run a marathon in Colorado. Put me there.
You're like, I'm there. I'm ready.
No, seriously. Because on Sundays I started teaching again a double. Like so, I teach an hour and then I do a 45 back to back.
Oh my god,
my goodness.
So I call it the dirty double because like you're in a mask for like 2+ hours.
Totally.
And I'm just like I can climb a mountain now. Like,
You're like, I could breathe once every 2 minutes and be good. Like I don't even need oxygen anymore. Like put me underwater, I'm fine. We are fine. So we did get a question from a listener about Wicked Fearless.
Oh yeah.
Would you like to kind of dive in a little bit and talk about it?
I actually honestly need to get better at the elevator pitch for it because I have to be honest, it's not that good. Like I'm just like, it's my coaching program that I developed because I mean, the ultimate goal for the past few years that as you've probably been able to see with the podcast and the Money and like all the other things I've thrown myself into, I'm just trying to build beyond the bike because I know I have so much more to offer.
Totally.
45 minutes to 60 people in a little room a couple times a week or a handful of times a week. Like let's get bigger. Let's be let's elevate, let's grow. So beyond the bike has always been my next thing. How do we grow this?
Yeah.
Because ultimately I don't think I'm going to ride a bike until I'm 80. So how do I maintain? How do I sustain? Like, how do I figure this out?
Yeah.
So basically I just did a lot of market research on what girls were asking me, what questions I was constantly getting over and over and over again, where people's biggest pain points were with like life, love, confidence, authenticity, social media, like literally all of it. And I just took it and I made it a tangible course where there's all these videos and modules and journals and takeaways.
Wow.
And I just packaged it up and I called it Wicked Fearless. It was originally Tribe Fearless, but there's a lot of like different, cultural appropriation around the word tribe. So I was like, let's just like nip that in the bud.
Yes.
And being in Boston, I was like, I'm never not going to get a kick out of it being called Wicked Fearless.
Absolutely not.
And here's the thing too. I could friggin' change the name.
Exactly.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
But for now we're rolling with it. It's just like everything I've picked up and all the tips and tricks I've learned along the way from just life and experience. And
that is so great.
Well, the person asked if it's solely for catered to women or can men enroll too?
I think I'm mostly catering towards women. I've really thought about that because I think it's so important to figure out your niche and your avatar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like really know who you're talking to. And I struggle with the fact that I'm leaving people behind a little bit because I've gotten that question, or I've said that on my own podcast where I was like, young girls, and I had a bunch of people in the DMs like, well, I'm not young, like I'm a mom or I'm older and I relate to you, like. And so it really made me think, but I mean, honestly, I do believe that the program in my heart is more for like 18 to 25-year-old girls, women that are like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life.
Totally.
I don't want to feel the way I feel. I'm nervous. I'm shy. I can't get over myself. I need to figure this out. How do I work through this? I mean, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yes, like demographic.
Like helping them discover what they want to do.
Because I didn't have anybody like that and especially now I get that like personal development, all this stuff is it's so hot right now.
It's
so hot right now. And I just remember if I had discovered stuff like this when I was just so lost in LA, like so freaking lost, if I just had a shining light or like that beacon of hope or that person I could look up to that, made me not feel like I was such a fucking hot mess and that it's okay to like get fired from your job and escorted out to the parking lot. It's okay to like do all these things and you just keep learning. Like that's so powerful. And so if I could be that voice of reason for someone, that girl, then I'm cool with
that. Is such 100%. An incredible like guidance. I mean, sign me up, honestly. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with my life. So I fall into that range. I'm only 23. So
you're 23 until like next week.
Next week I'm going to be 24.
Yeah.
But it's so important. It's so important. I feel like feeling that kind of lost like feeling is very intimidating when you're in that age group and the social construct of having to have your shit together.
Yeah, like you're lucky you had those like little birdies like calling in your ear for like that kind of created your path. But imagine if you didn't have that, it would have been so nice to have someone to guide you along the way and just to be there for you and be like hold you accountable to things that you say you wanted to do and stuff. So that is awesome.
And I think there's so much resistance around coaching.
Yep.
Especially right now on social media. It is like a hotbed. Like, who knows who has credentials? Like, do you have the experience? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, everybody these days call themselves a coach, which I love.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because I'm like, the more the merrier. Candles light other candles. Go for it, sister. Hoorah. But
yeah.
I really think that people there's so much resistance to the word when really I coined that coaching takes the, okay, wait, sorry. I'm like,
no, you're,
it's all about accountability.
Yes.
And the whole point of it is it takes the casual out of it. Because if you didn't have me to be like, okay, did you do this? Did you do that? How'd that feel? And start asking like the pinpointing questions, then you would never get around to doing it.
Exactly.
Like, I'll do it later. I'll do it next week.
100%.
So all it does is take the casual out of it.
Yeah. Just the casual talking and bring it to the next level to like really hold that person accountable to what they want to do.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love that. So we're going to go through some listener questions right now.
Yeah,
you kind of answered the first one with what made you want to go into the fitness industry in LA, riding for a ton of people. That was like one of them. And you did a great job answering that. The next one is benefits and disadvantages of both the East versus West Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
My gosh.
I know.
Like, that could get me in. You know what? Do you think that's location or do you think that's job wise for Soul Cycle?
I'd probably say more location.
Yeah. I feel like people are wondering, what are they missing if they're out in Boston, or what aren't they missing if they're here?
Yeah.
I think my biggest takeaway with where you live, and this could be east, west, north, south, is where's your family?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I know.
That's,
I wasn't expecting that.
I know.
I love that though.
I remember just a lot of things happening and California is great. Like, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. The state taxes are fucking through the roof.
Yep.
And you're literally just bleeding out all your money. But like, you know, you get to watch a pretty sunset, and it is a hotbed for like cool restaurants and trendy clothing stores. And it is all the things it is in Hollywood, and the glitz and the glamour. And it can be very starry and pretty, and the clubs and this and that, you know, and the neon lights of it all. But I think that for me, Boston and the East Coast isn't as much about Boston as it is my family's in Rhode Island.
Yep.
And being close to your family is so crucial. And I went to school in Nashville and then I lived in LA. So I was really away for almost 11 years.
Wow.
And forgetting what it was like to be like, fuck, I'm on the side of the road. Like, I need help. Like, what can I do? Like, I remember calling my dad when somebody hit my car on the PCH and totaled my car. And I remember calling my dad crying. He's like, well, why are you calling me? Like, I can't do anything.
Yeah, you're like, and that's
like
so
a hard
hard.
realization.
And it's so valuable to have people close to you.
I think, you know, it's impossible what you don't know until you live it, to know what you don't know until you live it. And I think that California is always going to have a sweet allure to me. And I don't tell anybody like, will I go back? Won't I go back? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 years ago, if you told me I was going to be, or, you know, a little more than 5, I guess.
Yeah.
5 years. 6 years ago.
Yeah.
If you told me I was going to be doing what I was doing now in Boston, I would have been like, you're fucking high.
Yeah. Like, no. So I think, a big thing that we talk about on this podcast is, you know, maintaining a healthy relationship with fitness and being a little less hard on ourselves, and, you know, doing it to fuel yourself and fuel your body, and not to like get so obsessed with it. One of our questions from a listener was like, how do you keep a healthy relationship with fitness and not let it kind of like overpower your life?
I think it's a really tough question if you work in the industry.
Totally.
And I think that that's where it can get, like, there can be a lot of gray area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also just think balance is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're always trying to achieve balance. And I've used that a million times. Like, so we could use it with like fitness and eating and like body. I mean, you could take it as deep as you want, body dysmorphia, the way, like what you say to yourself when you walk by a mirror, any of it. I feel like you are always walking that tightrope. And like sometimes you are just perfectly aligned and like in that like wavelength. I call that the flow state. Like everything is great. Sometimes it's a little more heightened and it's super juicy. And then sometimes you screw up or you do something or you have that negative thought or you take too many classes or and then you have to find that you're always trying to find that
balance.
It's never gonna just be like balanced for the rest of your life,
right?
No, I'm never like I'm totally balanced now. It just literally doesn't happen. You have like great days and you have good days and then you have the days where like, you know, you didn't drink any water and it's 2 p.m. and you're on your way to your 4 p.m. class and you have a migraine and you feel like you're going to fucking die. And then you backtrack and you're like, oh, right.
Water.
Water, liquid IV, beam, anything.
I think it's
literally anything.
I think it's so good to hear that from you as like someone who is, you know, an instructor, and I think our listeners, a lot
of people look up to.
Yeah, like a lot of people look up to you and value your opinion and what you do. And I think it's just so important to humanize instructors and be like, we don't live these lifestyles like these. We're not like immaculate all the time to our bodies. Like I am the same way. I drink 3 coffees in the morning sometimes. And then I'm like, oh shit, didn't drink a sip of water. Is my migraine from that or the fact that I didn't sleep last night? Like you just don't know.
Yeah.
So I love that analogy of like the tightrope. We're always trying to find that balance.
Yeah, you're always trying to achieve that. It's like, it's almost like, you know, nirvana or something. Like you're never going to like achieve it, but you're gonna always try to get like as close to that like Goldilocks complex
100%,
as you can, right?
Yeah,
just right.
Yeah.
So I think that, and I think it's really hard, and it's only getting harder with like all the freaking social media and TikTok and Clubhouse, and just it's so overly saturated. And like it's like you don't even know what is what or what from what or what to follow or what makes sense or what's good for like you have
because you see these like wicked skinny bitches posting what I eat in a day and everyone's like, oh, that's what I should eat in a day, and it's like no
everyone's different.
Yeah, every single body is different.
I think of it like skincare routine, right? So I used to really get upset about this because I've had like the worst acne ever. I've been on Accutane like I almost had to go back on it second time and somehow like evened it out, whether it's hormones, whether it's stress. I mean, who the frig knows? I also ride a bike between 12 and 20 class times a week in my life for the past 6 years. So who knows?
And now with a mask on.
Yeah, exactly. Like add all the things into the cauldron and like stir it. Like, I don't know why it's not
You're like, why are the pimples happening? We're not sure.
So the way I try to describe it, it's like, this is what works for me and feels good for me, but these are just suggestions and you have to figure out your own concoction, your own mixture.
Preach.
You feel good. And it's true. And like, I joke, like someone will be like, well, I hate spin class. And I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Then find what works for you. Now, I personally don't get that.
Like, why?
I don't understand why you're a psychopath.
I never understand why people say it in front of me. Like, I know I invited a couple of people to my class, and they were like, well, she just doesn't like to do cycling. And I was like, well, I don't really like to do her class, but I go because it's a community thing and we're just trying to build the market. But
like, okay, fine. That's like, you do you.
I know people,
like, cool.
People always make it a point to tell spin instructors that they don't like spin. And you're like, okay, like
so
that's my
interesting.
Fucking livelihood. Thank you.
It's like a backhanded compliment. You know, when someone's like, I hate those shoes, but they look good on you, so it doesn't really matter what and you're like, what? You didn't have to tell me that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah. But
oh my gosh.
It's just, you know, people, I think, to stress, things will fit well in your life, and things will, like, just because it fits well in someone else's life, it's not going to fit well in yours. So just find what works for you. Yes. And that's what we always kind of stress here.
Favorite smoothie?
I have to be honest right now. I love this is like this is kind of like a plug, but whatever.
That's
I'm
fine.
a huge fan of the mint chocolate chip smoothie from our bond specifically that my friend gave me.
I love that. Was it
because I don't
Bridget?
And I even so much as so went out to buy a NutriBullet. I never had one. And I was like, oh, I'll get that.
You're like, I need that.
So that's really the only smoothie I have, and I love it because it tastes like ice cream.
All right. So reach out to her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Shout out to SJ Silk, Sarah Silk.
Love that.
Amazing. So yeah.
Love that.
That's my favorite smoothie.
And this kind of backpacks off that because someone said, what's your favorite ice cream? Is it mint chocolate chip?
It's actually not, but I would take that. So I try to not eat dairy actually because I whether it is true or not true that it causes acne on your face, I cut it all out. I was like, I'm just gonna not even let that be a non-factor. And I'm talking like on my dying bed, my last meal would be like burrata and tomatoes and prosciutto. So
my gosh.
You need to understand that me giving up all like as much dairy as possible. Now, don't get me wrong. If something's like in something, I'm not going to die.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to get violently ill. However, I'm like anything that could cause that kind of trauma on my face, because that's what it was for me, like traumatic.
Yeah.
I just won't fuck with it.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Thinking about not eating charcuterie.
Yeah, no, it's awful, right?
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I stared at it and I'm like, okay.
That
I
literally.
did work at an ice cream store through college, from high school and college, and my favorite flavor was always coffee Heath Bar Crunch.
Oh, we're right there together.
Yeah.
The Maddies.
always.
I'm not a coffee girl.
Carly hates coffee.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't drink coffee. I drink hot chocolate every morning.
That's absolutely wild.
Yeah, it is.
How does she have energy? Just wondering. Not sure. not incredibly sure. And she hates the taste of like everything, the smell,
Anything,
the taste.
Yeah. Espresso martinis. No.
I just don't really understand.
Do you have a Dunkachino?
I will taste the coffee in it. I literally just hate coffee. I don't.
Dunkachino is low key better than a hot chocolate. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Throw that.
Oh my gosh.
So
Unless you like actually fry your tongue off. I've done that a couple times. Every time I think I've had a Dunkachino.
I'm so excited about it. I like get it. And I immediately my tongue is cinched up. I always get one, like coming home from church on Sundays, or like I'll have one on like Saturday or Sunday. It's like a treat. Like a Diet Coke for me. That sounds so crazy. It makes me sound like such a psychopath. But
No.
I also I'm not really a big soda person. I'm a soda water person. Still can't
Same.
lock in that polar seltzer deal. I'm like, once you sip polar, hit me up.
Oh my God, you need to.
Yeah, you need
that's
to.
how I am with soda too. Like I'll let myself have it once in a while, and it's like
That's like ginger ale for me. Like I love ginger ale, but I'd never drink it.
Or getting like a Sprite or a Diet Coke from McDonald's.
Oh my gosh.
It hits different when it's from McDonald's.
I know.
It hits
different. Whatever that gun is, whatever in the CO2 tank thing.
Like literally.
There's actually like research behind it. I saw it on TikTok.
Of course, we've saw it on TikTok. But you're right.
Yeah,
you are right. They buy a different formula of Coke, I think.
Yeah.
I literally am gonna go get one.
You're like, okay, now that we're talking about it,
my mouth is literally watering.
Salivating with the thought.
So one person asked, do you take naps? Where do you get your energy from?
I definitely take naps. I'm a huge napper, and
Me too.
I love my naps. Scott bought me a weighted blanket. It's the best thing I've ever had.
It knocks you out. Like it takes away all anxiety, and you're just like a peaceful
cocoon.
I borrow. I love naps, and I used to feel lazy. They used to make me feel like inadequate, and you have to take a nap, like let's go, like the grind, the hustle inside me was like blah blah blah. But when I don't honor it, like I still feel so stupid when because for whatever reason everybody tries to plan a call with me at 2 p.m. and I'm like no,
you're like, it's nap time.
Yeah, 2 to 5 anywhere near there is like I'm off limits most of the time. Now when I teach at 4, like my Tuesday, Thursday schedule is a little wonky. Like you can't really technically get a napping. Like 4 is like a randomly placed time.
Yeah.
Time slot, which I'll literally have to die before they take me out of that time slot. So here we are. It actually said that to our programming team. So like that's kosher to like.
I can say that.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, she has a call coming.
Yeah. Yeah, it's huge, when you're, and I loved it. LeBron actually put out an article about how focused he is on his sleep and his naps, and how how regimented he is about recovery. And I've tried to be much better about that. I know, I'm like a Whoop fan.
Oh, hell yeah. We love Whoop.
Yeah, I really try very hard to honor that, because I know that if I honor that, then everything else will just feel better. And don't get me wrong, like I woke up this morning and I felt like it was, when you have those mornings when you're going to class and you're like, I might die.
Yeah.
It might be it.
You're like,
Today's it.
I just feel it.
I'll call someone on, and my dad will be like, what's wrong? I'll be like, what's right? I'm like, my back, my neck, my lower back, something weird over here in my scapula. My arms kind of sore too. Like, I don't know what I was doing. Both my hamstrings feel like they're strained.
Yeah.
I have to go do it again.
Yeah.
So,
what's right?
There's nothing.
Yeah. That's from something.
I forget what that's from, but it rings a bell.
What's right? So I feel like I used to be really used to think I was really stupid for naps, and then I just think they're so essential now.
They are.
They're like invaluable, honestly.
I also take naps when I need to tap out. When my emotions are too much, or if I have a really tough, I have an awesome sports psychologist, and sometimes we nitpick the game a lot, and I'll have to go when I feel like my energy, I can literally feel when I'm not honoring it, and that's when I go nap. I'm like, just go nap.
That's smart. I feel like that's really
wow. That's a great way of listening to your body. More people should be like you.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes my anxiety will just keep me awake. I would go to lie down and then immediately what about all the things you wanted to think about?
I know. that is so hard, and I just try to be they're still going to be there later.
Totally.
Sometimes this is something that's I call it the high RAM brain, like a supercomputer. Some of us have that kind of brain. When I lay down at night and I think of 8 things I didn't do, and instead of laying there and thinking about them, I get up, I write them down, I write a to-do list, and I put it on next to my computer. I'm like, it's there. You're going to do it tomorrow. It's going to fucking happen. You don't have to think about it anymore. Now go to sleep so you can wake up.
I need to do that.
Yeah. So you can wake up and be you, because there have been nights where I'm like, oh, you'll just remember that in the morning. And then you lay there for 10 minutes and you're still thinking about it. And I'm like, get the fuck up out of bed.
Yes.
Go write it down and be a normal human and go back to bed and and rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let it die.
100%.
Hear that, people?
Yes. Listen. That's
write down your shit and just go for it.
That's probably the best advice given on this podcast yet.
Because I always literally talk about, I'm like, yeah, no, just thinking about 3,000 things at a time.
My flesh eating anxiety.
Just hanging out.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Brain. Otherwise, it just looms over you and you'll never sleep.
Yeah. There's something to be said about really taking ownership of the stuff that you need to get done and then writing. I need to start being better about that.
We got one more listener question before we go into our final this or that, but someone said, do you get to work out on your own personal time outside of teaching?
And she kind of answered that a little bit too.
Yeah, and I have to be wicked careful.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny. You just get into this routine where what you do doesn't necessarily make your body react anymore.
Yeah.
I could feel I could teach 100,000 cycling classes and I'll be kind of sore, but your body is so conditioned for that workout that it doesn't even sometimes feel like a workout. And then that's not saying the class isn't hard or whatever. It's just you're doing it so much. You're a pro.
Yeah, exactly.
Pro.
Professional athlete vibes.
Yeah, you are it's like asking Shaun White if he can do the half pipe and do a 180. He's I could literally do it in my sleep with my eyes closed, hands tied behind my back. So,
literally.
I love, and that for me is what I used to like to do for fun. I'd pop over to Barry's, I'd pop over to SLT, I'd do all these things. And I think that has been it feels like a huge portion of my community and my life is really missing, because whether it's I'm having to drive to different locations or the times are just different now.
Yeah. Or you're teaching 4 classes in a day and you're no.
I need to rest.
Yeah, I mean that's 100% given.
Yeah.
And I feel I do like to work on my own, and sometimes I don't. I remember there have been times where I've had an Equinox membership and I would teach and I'd walk up to the gym and I would just be I don't want to fucking be here.
Yeah.
Not one part of me wants to be here.
Exactly. And you're why am I going to force myself to be here if I don't want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I think that you got to make it fun and you got to like keep sparking joy.
Totally.
And it sounds like kind of silly and cliche, but I think that you have to want to do it too. Like if I show up and I really don't want to do something on top of all what we already do, it's just not going to happen.
You're like, it's not filling me up, so might as well not incorporate
Me and
it.
Maddie got a squat rack recently, and I've been like wanting to use that. I'm like, this is fun. Like I like love to like mix this in. But then as of like the last week or two, I've been like, no, I don't feel like
I'm
doing
all
that.
set with that. I'm all set with the extra stuff.
Or you get so excited, you do too much. Like my issue is I always do too much, and then I'm so sore the next day or the next week.
Me.
Yeah.
In the case of working out with some of our friends.
Yes.
Oh my God. I saw that too.
Rob.
And you're like, gosh darn it, I'm sore.
And, you know, like a couple of weeks ago I did that. Like I went to Pickles at Barry. I went to Dan DeStefano's class at Barry's in Back Bay. And I hadn't run since I remember the last time I took Barry's was with him after my dirty double.
Oh my
March
God.
15th, and I maxed out my tread at like 14.
Oh my God.
I was like, bitch, run like you're not going to run for a while.
Yep.
That turned out to be
true.
And so I was in there trying to like to sprint at like a 13 first time back. So my legs were trashed the next day, had to keep teaching doubles every day.
Yeah.
I'm like doubles right now. We only have 2 studios open, which I'm incredibly grateful for.
Absolutely.
And then I went and trained with Rob, legs, ass, butt, all that on Wednesday. And then I went skiing on Friday. When I went to ski, like I was just bombing the mountain. I couldn't even bend my legs. I was like iron crossed. As the kids say, I was just yeeting.
You're yeeting down the mountain. You're like, no fucks given.
My God.
It was no pizza. It was just straight.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. The thought of that makes my legs hurt. Like, I know. All of those things.
All of it.
It's like really scary.
It's
right?
like.
So do you overdo it because you love it so much and because you actually can physically handle it because we're so conditioned that you have to be so careful.
You're like so careful.
Because then your job becomes miserable and then you just go down to like, you go to the Badlands.
You're like,
you could spill like a water and you're crying.
Yeah. Yep. You're like, what? Why do bad things happen to good people?
Literally I was once.
Was a smart one.
I was so tired, like from working out so much. And my dad walked in. He's like, "Hey, do you mind moving your car?" And I burst into tears. Like, it set me off for some reason.
How dare you inconvenience me?
I can't walk right now. I was like,
oh God.
So our poor father.
I know he puts up with so much shit. We're both there all the time. We're like, haha, sorry, another package came too, and we're poor, whatever. So we have a segment that we do every week. It's called This or That, and this week is social media edition. So choosing in between a couple different things. So we'll just kind of go spitfire, and you just let us know what you would choose, basically.
Okay.
Instagram or Snapchat? Instagram.
I also said Instagram. I feel like Snapchat slowly is being phased out.
Instagram won 274 to 34. So there we go. Screen time. Is it greater than 5 hours or less than 5 hours a day?
That's a tough one because I would.
But yours is a lot for work, right?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I think if you're not running a business and actively if you're not using Instagram as a tool actively and your screen time is like above an hour or 2 hours, that's a serious.
Yeah. Check in with yourself.
Check in. We don't need to be consuming that much. I think
what do? You got to get out and create something.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I would say
mine is greater.
For sure. Mine's greater only because we do so much on social media and on our phones. I feel like that contributes to a lot of it. But I feel like I definitely could scroll TikTok like a bit less sometimes. If I have a down minute, I'm like, oh, I should probably be napping, but TikTok. And then that's my downfall. I need to stop doing that. Self-check-in.
So actually more people said less than 5 hours and 160, but 137 said greater than 5 hours. And a lot of people who did, I kind of looked through, they run like businesses type things through Instagram or
that makes sense.
Yeah.
or work from their phone.
Like,
So
I'm not on my desktop like ever. Like I'm notoriously bad at email. Like I literally tell everybody, if you do not text me or DM me or get it like on my phone, like I'm so bad at email now.
me too.
And not because I think it's just like, not because I'm lazy, but because I'm never like, I'm very rarely sitting down and like, let me go through my emails. I'm like driving and like trying to feed myself and like,
Yeah.
A million things.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm so bad with email. Like I have actually a couple sitting in my inbox I need to reply to.
a couple.
Just a few.
A couple, 2, 3. So iPhone or Android? iPhone.
Yeah.
We had 8 people vote for Android.
And then
those
the people
are like,
that did like DM'd us and was like Android for life. And I was like,
they're so aggressive about it. I think Android, like there's so many things I think are cool about the Android. There's a lot of like analytic tech, like
totally
there's a lot of stuff that I don't understand, and the picture quality is great, but it's just like,
yeah,
it's not for me.
No.
Nope. I do not like the green text.
No, me-
So sorry.
that's
Don't like
the
those.
first red flag, right?
You're like, if you match with someone on Hinge and they text you and it's a green text, you're like, so sorry, I gotta go. Like,
I kind of feel the same way, and this could be kind of bullish, but like I feel the same way when I'm like communicating with someone and they tell me they have like a Hotmail, like at Hotmail.com.
You're like, ooh.
yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like, sorry.
Unless they're like old.
You're like,
Unless it's, like, a
Gmail is
grandma,
free,
then I'm like, okay,
right?
I get it.
You're like, okay, you have an excuse, but if otherwise you're not excused, switch over to switch, honestly, anything else.
Yeah, literally anything. 305 for iPhone, 8 for Android.
Love it.
Insta stories or Insta posts? What do you prefer?
Oh, stories, always.
Yep.
Yeah, stories won 215 to 91. TikTok or Vine? I said Vine.
I miss Vine.
I like Vine because I thought that the people on there were like, there's people that I even quote now. Like I do the Quincy, we're going to the market. And then like, I'm obsessed with Britt Ferlin, who's married to Tommy Lee.
Yes.
The dog, Nina the Weena.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Nina the Weena. Which is a dog, by the way.
Yeah, yes, yep. I love that.
But I mean, I love it. I'm honestly like, I would love to be more into TikTok and like get better at it, but I find it I haven't figured, other than like going viral.
Yep.
And having people from that platform come to another one.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't want to say I'm too old, because I don't believe like
No, you're not.
No.
you can be too old. But for me, like the mindless stuff, I feel like it's for the generation that doesn't have like all the other things going on.
Yep,
like
exactly.
You're in high school, so you can fuck around in the living room for 4 hours.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like people asked me to make a reels the other day, and I was like, I don't have time to make a freaking reels.
It's so much work. I made a TikTok like one time. I was like at our space and I had some extra time. It took me 2 hours to like figure out how to do it. And it was a 30-second video.
I think for me, the hardest thing with that app is the return on investment versus I've been more on Clubhouse lately, which I was kind of resistant to, because I was kind of like, anybody can just talk about anything. And I personally am a huge fan of being in person. And I heard 2 different sides. The one side of like, well, it doesn't matter what you look like. Like there's no judgment in that way. But I also am a firm believer that it's like you bust down a door of authenticity and vulnerability when you show up as you are on camera.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, you guys know I'm all about that, because I always look like Oscar the Grouch. Or
Oh
like,
no, you couldn't even if you wanted to.
I look like the trash guy on the Muppet.
No, you don't.
But I feel you, because I don't I don't go out of my way to look a certain way.
Yep.
I like, this is how I look today, this is how I look today. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I will show up in a messy bun and a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and that's it. So I like appreciate that you do that too, and you're like, take it for what it is. This is me.
Yeah, taking away that.
So I see both sides, but I feel like Clubhouse is probably more my jam than TikTok, because I've seen just already from like being a narrator in certain rooms and talking in different circles, like that it's making my Instagram better. So I'm seeing actual results, whereas TikTok, I'm like, this is just wasted time that went to nothing to maybe go viral. But is that then
going to help you with anything else.
Yeah. See it.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I can't figure it out yet. So
TikTok won 222 to 59. When you do watch TikTok, do you prefer the funny ones or the dances?
I'm a dancer, so I love the dances. There was a time where I would just scroll through and try to find the hardest dances and do them.
I love that.
But I mean, I think I'm pretty like
whatever.
50-50.
Yeah. 250 for funny and 25 for dances. Wow, not many.
Well,
For a friend's birthday, do you do multiple stories or one story?
I think it depends on the person and it depends the content. Like if I have some friends where like if I find like a whole like treasure trove of like wild nights from college or high school, like I'm definitely
same.
100%.
Yeah. And 131 said multiple stories, 157 said one story. I don't want to be your friend. Just kidding.
You just need more content.
Yeah. Twitter or Instagram? Twitter, I feel like, I feel like Twitter's dying, but 31 people voted Twitter.
People love Twitter. Twitter's like really for like.
My boyfriend loves Twitter.
Financial things.
He's also in the stock market.
Sports, you're right.
Sports and stock market, that's where Twitter, like that's where the people thrive.
That is where they live.
268 said Insta. And then last but not least, this is like the saddest thing. So many people responded back to this one and said, what is that? MySpace or AIM? Like, yeah, so we had like 4 people respond back, and they were literally like,
Google it.
Yeah, there's this really cool thing called Google. Like, type in what it is.
That just breaks my heart.
Yeah, MySpace was legit. I am actually so mad that the platform doesn't even exist anymore, so you can't even go back and see what yours looked like.
Oh my God.
You can't? Someone asked if they could still. I was like, I don't
think so.
I don't think you can. I don't think like you can. I don't think it's archived or held anywhere. Like I don't think the URLs exist or anything like that out in the interweb, in the dark web, because I would love
to see. Just to see.
Yeah. I liked AIM.
I mean, I loved AIM. Like you hear the door swing open and it's like your crush has entered the room. Yeah.
We all had I had like Shushanova 22 and like Shimmer. Stupidest name.
I vividly remember mine because Carly made it and it was Lil Dog, DAWG.
Lil Dog. Because everyone called her Mad Dog.
2946. That where those numbers came from out of someone's asshole. Like I have no idea where those came from. But yeah, I had some really good away statuses.
AIM.
Don't text. Peace sign. Don't text.
I would be like BRB eating dinner. All right. Well, we have 193 for AM, 61 for MySpace. We know you are off to like go on to the next meeting, but thank you so much for joining us. It was so lovely having you. Plug where everyone can find you.
Yes, please let everyone know your socials, where you're at, where they can find you.
Like everybody can find me on Instagram at Maddz Taddz, MADDZ. I mean, that's really where everything is. It doesn't matter if you have a website and all the other cool like things under the Tuscan sun, but hit me up on Instagram.
And take her class.
Yes, where are you teaching?
You can just look at my schedule. I post it regularly, and it's also on the Soul Cycle app and Soul Cycle website. But I'm in Chestnut Hill as well as Back Bay. We are open in the Westin now, and fingers crossed in the next couple of weeks.
Let's hope. We're crossing our fingers.
I'm crossing everything for you.
I know.
Like Jesus, Buddha, everybody.
Anyone shift the energy and get us going, please. But we appreciate you so much, and it was just so nice connecting with you. And thanks for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with us.
You girls are awesome, and I was really happy to be here.
Thank you.
Well, have a great rest of your day and just have the best time. And thank you so much.
Bye, Maddz. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed her. She is absolutely awesome in every single way. It was so nice to have her on. Get to subscribe, rate, review, screenshot it, send it to us, and we'll give you a discount code for our clothing.
For the whole Cabs merch or any merch that would you like that you would.
That's
good.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
All right. It's time for us to sign off.
It's time to go. Have a freaking bomb-ass week, everybody. We love you.
Look for another this or that on Thursday. Love you.
Eat the damn cake.
Woo!